Hello, everyone. In case we haven't met, my name is Dr. Harmony, and I hope you live fearless, live loved, and live free. Today, I welcome you to our twin flame astrology reading for the month of October with Tatiana. So welcome, Tatiana. I'm so excited to have you back to share in this particular video, the first half of the month of October for the energy. And if you're new to my channel, please make sure to subscribe. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know that when all my videos and content come live. And I'm so excited to be sharing this energy report for the month of October, or actually being part of it, and to learn from this, because I feel like that myself and the collective are already been ramping up to this. Even the last few days, my voice has kind of left for no particular reason. It just feels like it's cutting in and out. And I know we have a lot coming up with Mercury going retrograde. And I feel like my voice is really being tested to become louder, bolder, and even in new branding ways and communication with a lot of people. So I want to welcome Tatiana in order to share this information so we can all get prepared for the upcoming month.
So hello everyone and welcome back. I'm really excited about sharing this report for the month, and as you can see, we have this image that I pulled up for you, these images that I have created to illustrate the archetypes of the energy. And as the sun enters Libra at the it's also it has already entered Libra by the time we're recording this, right? So what's going to happen, it's that that first half of the month of October, it's going to carry the essential energy of Libra. The sun is everything that we express, and how now relationships of all kinds are going to be brought to the front as how can we become more equal, more balanced, more harmonious. This energy speaks of social interaction. It speaks of the balance of the feminine and the masculine, or the yin and the yang energies within. It speaks of how we can create balance and harmony. And the Libra energy is going to be really packed this month, because we don't only have, of course, the sun moving there, but it's going to be having Mars and Mercury with it as the main players of this energy. So these three energies combined together will create the perfect environment for negotiating, rethinking things of how we relate to others. Have we been in right relationship with others? It's the time to express clearly and directly our points of view, what we think. And because the Libra energy tends to kind of soften that diplomatic, it brings the diplomatic vibe, then we're probably more prone to wanting to hear others and respect their points of view, all the while asserting ourselves with what we need to assert. And this goes for the broader collective. And we have been having all kinds of discussions in the world out there of who believes what versus who believes what. And at this moment, it's not about that. It's about sitting together at the table and going, okay, now, because Mercury is retrograde from September 27th all the way until the October 18th, this might not be the time where we actually speak things out. This might be the time where we think about everything we've lived in the past Mercury cycle, all the information that has been gathered, and how we're going to process that information within. So when we come in contact with others and we're clear with what we need, where we need to put boundaries. Libra also, because it tends to be kind of indecisive. I don't know if I belong to this camp or that camp, to this or that. Should I people please? Should I not? The positive side of that is that it allows for more diplomacy. So Mercury retrograde in Libra might want us to be thinking and revisiting how we have interacted with others. All the while, we're going to have Mars, the warrior, together with the sun, and they will be in conjunction together, the three of them, as October 8th. I'm going to read a little passage from this phenomenal book, The Archetypal Universe by Ren Butler, who is my mentor. And this puts in highlight the best way we could use the energy and beware of the shadow. So that energy that comes into conjunction really strongly could be seen as an energized and passionate mind, a direct and upfront way of speaking, a capacity to speak one's truth, qualities of forthrightness and honesty, writing and speech, an ability to stand up for oneself and get one's point across, urges to assert oneself and ask for what one wants, a talent for planning adventures and activities, a capacity to make plans and act quickly, humorous comments, keen, pointed mind. So self-expression, you see, so this is the perfect archetypal blend of that Mars, Mercury, Sun energy in its best expression. What we need to look out for is not to go into mental restlessness, rush and impulsive way of communication. And because we will have also by October 4th a square to Pluto, this kind of I want to put my point of view could become aggressive and filled with that little venomous poison dart.
Mm-hmm.
So what we want to avoid in all of our communications is that. Mars in Libra is not very strong. It's said to be in its detriment. I don't like that word, but it's said to be not very comfortable in Libra, because it's like putting, I think I saw this from an astrologer and I loved it. It's like putting in ballerina shoes,
Uh-huh.
like in a tutu, and this is this warrior wanting to go comfortably.
A warrior in a tutu.
Yeah, so it's very I'm the Spartan warrior and I have to be all graceful, or like putting Tarzan and or like putting Tarzan in London eating with a little teaspoon. I think that's what that's.
Well, that's this is like the contrast of the polarities of our opposite sides of ourselves, and bringing that neutrality and that balance within, even through this process. And what I see in that is enough people collectively have really connected to more of their truth. And now is the time to express that truth on every level. It's time to express it for just standing up for who we are, showing up for who we are, speaking who we are, sharing in communication with other people. A lot of clients I've been working with have been having a lot of people in their lives that are really deep friends that are having a conflict in their belief systems. And multiple people I've been working with or talking to in this, it has created division of some sort. Some people have literally cut people out of their lives just because the person voiced herself and, they didn't believe with that belief system. On the contrary, other people, I just had a client yesterday tell me he had the same thing going on with a couple friends and at work. And one of the big things I would say is the COVID vaccine. And I'm not up here to discuss that in terms of should you or shouldn't you. But on the flip side of that, this is about us having our voice of what we believe, what we know, and being able to stand up for that. And I think that on this twin flame journey, that we're being put in these situations like this and have been doing the work to become powerful enough in that truth to vocalize that to where we're bringing balance to the collective from these neutralities and polarities. So this is going to be huge coming up. I'm even seeing my mom in the last 2 days has just sort of been venting to me about the help she's not getting, and that, she's helped all these people, and now she's in this need of help with my dad. And then they're not showing up for her, but she overgave, and then she didn't set her own boundaries. And now she's setting boundaries, and she's on one end having to voice this out and to realize that she can't no longer expect things from people because she gave, but what she's learning out of that is to stop over giving and to give the self-love in that within herself.
Yeah, that's beautifully said. Like how, we've seen through all this whole time how families have been ripped apart, friendships, and this is the time where we're kind of reviewing with Mercury retrograding, reviewing all of that. What is really worth, and Jupiter will also be coming into this mix with beautiful trines supporting the energy of negotiation, of the Jupiter represents the thing, so it will also connect us to truth. Jupiter represents also higher truth. It's the ruler of Sagittarius. What is higher truth? It's also could represent legal issues, like contracts. It's a good time to start thinking about rewriting policy. Literally, how do we write policies that are going to be best for everyone in the mix, that are going to create more harmony and more beauty. Libra also has this quality of beauty in it, is the politically correct. You see in this image is we have this very posh thing. Is politically correct. It does not want to ruffle feathers. With Pluto there, Pluto might want to ruffle the feathers and go like, well, we need to talk dirty. So this is, how do we bring this? Okay, we need to talk shadow and we need to talk what's really going on, but how are we going to do it with grace without having to go like,
well, and I think the piece of that is a reflection of how many of us have healed our wounds, because no longer we can face these things in communication with people, our twin, situations, family, the patriarchs, all these things, all this, even down to, the governmental system and all these things, we can basically voice our own opinion without the fear of what other people are thinking, or without them not accepting us, or with whatever their response is. We don't have to allow that to no longer trigger us. And especially in the twin flame journey, because so many people have been triggered by their twin. So I really feel, and I'm seeing this too, when it comes to this twin flame journey, there's a lot of reunions taking place and in this timeline. But it's also because we as twin flames are recreating and redefining the future of relationships. And communication is the effective and clear communication is foundation to every relationship going forward.
And we also have a we're having Venus transiting Scorpio, and we talked about this in the last video. And when Venus transits Scorpio, we also, it's interesting because Mars, it's in its detriment, Venus is in its detriment. It's almost like we put Venus in, this beautiful goddess in like the haunted house, and then we put the Spartan Mars in this, posh China shop, right? And they're like uncomfortable there, right? And Venus is also going to the shadows. So as we, it's like when they're in this kind of relationship, Mars and Venus, it's like, yes, Venus needs to go to the shadows and see where the feminine has been, also all the inner, what we hide, the sensuality, because Venus can, in Scorpio, it's sensual, it goes to these depths, it's magnetic, and it's sometimes censored. So how can we bring back that sensuality, that shadow, and as Venus, brings that up and it's in this uncomfortable place, we can reconcile. And we have Mars in its uncomfortable place too. So how can we reconcile those energies to create this? Okay, shadow is part of our world, but we don't have to just act from this side or that side. It doesn't have to be one or the other. And Venus will be also squaring Jupiter at the beginning of the month. And again, lend itself to like overspending money or like doing like drastic changes, not changes, but for example, like you like think you have all this money to spend and let's renov the house or whatever, renovate the house, and then suddenly it's like, oh, wait a minute, we're like overshooting the mark of our dreams and what we could, or maybe even like, oh, I found a lover and now it's gonna be the best thing of my life, and then like tone things down a little bit. Even though Venus will also have a very nice trine to Neptune at the beginning of the month. And what that brings is absolute grace from heaven. Neptune, and this is my cat, Neptune.
So sweet.
When Venus and Neptune come into contact, that's when we have the magic of fairies, angels, grace. It's like going into a realm of beauty and grace that can Avatar. Imagine Avatar coming down through art, through expressive, through poetry, through dance, through movement. So what we want to take is the energy of the shadow and turn it into the goddess dance of fire. It's interesting because I'm going to be doing a photo shoot of like a goddess dance, beautiful fire, like the one you did, Harmony.
Yeah.
Beautiful. That's what we want to explore and express. So the divine feminine can come out in its whole sensuality without like condemning sensuality, but showing it as something graceful, beautiful, and magical. That's what we want to elevate, coming into these tantric places instead of going to lower frequency of, perversion or anything like that. No, we go into graceful lovemaking. It's so beautiful, like how it could play out, but that doesn't come without these agreements. Yeah, go ahead if you need.
So basically, a couple things in what you said. This is a huge time of creation. Like huge time of creation of new relationships, creation of like moving into purpose and mission. For me, it's about, I've been working on books for 6 years since the last one, and I've had all these pieces, and all of a sudden all my pieces just went into this whole kabang. And like the thing I would say about that in that creation, it will come out different and better in the culmination of what's happened than had I been doing it all along. And that the information wasn't necessarily all there to compile what was needed to be at its greatest, highest form. That is the creation of ourselves and this new identity. So we're creating new identities at the foundation of this. And if I heard you correctly, basically it sounds like Mars and Venus are coming together to create this synergistic dance in the universal timeline that represents like the twin flame journey in its fullest. And we're doing that from our inside, learning how to find the balance within and learning how to stay in alignment with ourselves while we are navigating these things in a new way, with the way it's more grace, but then holding our power, standing in our truth, showing up for where we need to within ourselves, but not taking on the energy of others and not allowing the wounds to be, not allowing, it's like that's not even as necessary anymore collectively. Some people I know are still hitting those shadows, but know that the shadow is creating more light. And if we can take and use that shadow for the concept and the idea to feed our flame and to fuel our fire, we're actually using those shadows now to like transform and transmit them and transcend them really quickly if we've learned how just to navigate and flow, because we will never not have the shadows to have our light. So this dance that we're learning how to play here is we're learning how to dance in the stream of synergy on a universal scale, but also within.
Absolutely, yes. And this synergy dance, it's not like they're coming together, they're in mutual reception, meaning they're in their territory of discomfort, because when the planets are kind of weakened, this is my thought, is for us to see the vulnerable side of our archetypal nature. So Venus just wants luxury and beauty and grace, and you put her in Scorpio, and what it does, it's in this shadow realm of sensuality and darkness. So it's like, how can How can darkness and sensuality and passion and all the dark themes be beautiful? That's Venus saying that. And then Mars, how can Mars, the Spartan warrior, be gentle in their approach? And this is exactly what you're saying about when we come into this new way of being as humans. That's what comes. It's not this or that. The energy is still there, but in what measure do we want to, be more kind? Yeah, and this is the perfect time, people, and this is now practical tools from your Virgo friend here. Awesome time to learn about nonviolent communication. So, get the book, learn tools like that, because this is the time to go, oh my God, I can actually say what I want and get my needs met if I use the right wording. And for an example, I am part of this community endeavor that is absolutely wonderful. And we have this, we had a meeting, like a heart circle meeting and a world's view meeting. And a 3-hour meeting where everybody had different points of view, different beliefs. And we were able to very kindly and gracefully convey our postures without the animosity. And it was beautiful. It ended up in this understanding and seeing the other, like in this Libra way where we're like, I am the other. This is why in that image they're together, they're melded, because I am the other. I am not just me. Aries is me. Libra is I am me and the other. So it's beautiful to see that we as humans can model that. So if I could do it in a setting where there's all this animosity and difficult topics to talk about, how can we model that in our lives with our loved ones, with our communities, to stop like segregation, like unfairness and inequality? And so that's the first part of our month, is going to be kind of mulling all over that before everything goes direct, and we're going to have lots of stuff going on the second half.
And I can't wait to hear that report. So we will be back then again in a couple weeks on the 10th of October with the second half of the month, the energy report and the astrology report for that. And Tatiana, thank you for sharing with us today. I look forward to having you back in a couple weeks.
Absolutely.
So, yes.
Okay.
So thank you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, like I'm greeting everybody.
Okay. So thank you everyone for staying tuned with us, for riding this wave with us, learning to dance with us. And we look forward to seeing you in the next video. Make sure that you check out all the ways you can connect with Tatiana in the links below. And she offers an evolutionary astrology reading that is so profound. Not only myself, but clients that have had it, they've all raved about how on target, how much it's helped them come into the alignment and knowing of their own truth, and how that connects to the reason you go through what you go through, and gives you confirmation to surrender and flow towards more purpose and more connection with your soul's blueprint, basically. So we will see you in the next video. May you always face your fears, find freedom, and glow forward on fire. Namaste.